Well, brothers, Dhamma friends, we are going to start the English Dhamma discussion. Actually, we are shifting English Dhamma discussion to Thursday since Bhante Dhammajiva is not available these days. And basically these days we are discussing Parayana Vagga available in the Sutta Nipata. And last time we were able to complete the very first sutta. So that is the Ajita Sutta. That is the very first one that we were able to complete. And probably now we can get into the next sutta. And so I cordially invite Venerable Dhammajiva to start with the English verses available in the Sutta Nipata translation.
Yes, Bhante. So this is from the Bhikkhu Bodhi translation. And it says, this is page 329 in the Bhikkhu Bodhi book. And this is verse 1040. Who here is contented in the world? For whom is there...
Name of the sutta?
Yes, it is the questions of Tissa Metteya.
Right.
Who here is contented in the world? For whom is there no agitation? Who, having directly known both ends, by reflection does not get stuck in the middle? Whom do you call a great man? Who here has transcended the seamstress?
Yeah. So this is a very, very important question actually asked by Tissa Metteya, and this being referred in certain other suttas as well. Actually, the answer given to this question is referred in certain other suttas later during the Buddha's time itself, where certain monks, and basically the monks couldn't understand the answer. So let me recite the Pali verse, Tissa Metteya Sutta, Kodang, right? Kodang santusito loke, kassa no santi injita. Ko ubanta abhinyaya majje mantana lipati. Kambrusi Maha purisoti ko idda sibbani macchaga. So basically the question, as far as I can simply say, so who is the one who is completely contented in this world, who has no any kind of cravings? Any perturbations happens because of craving, that is not available, and he knows the both ends, and he knows the middle, and he does not attach to that. And to whom are you going to say the Mahapurisa, the great person, who has basically transcended the Sibbani, the what we call as the seamstress. So let me ask Venerable Dhammalankara to recite the Sinhala translation also.
අවසරයි සයන්හස. තිස්ස මෙත්තේය මානව පුච්චා ආයුෂ්මත් තිස්ස මෙත්තේය මෙසේ පිළිවිත්. කවරෙක් මෙලව සන්තුෂ්ට වේද? කවරක් හට තෘෂ්ණා දෘෂ්ටි ඉන්ජනයෝ කම්පනයෝ නැද්ද? කවරෙක් අන්තද්වය විශිෂ්ට ඥාණයෙන් දැන මද්දේහි ප්‍රඥායෙන් නොඇලෙයිද? කවරක්කු මහා පුරුෂයයි කියනසේක්ද? මෙහි කවරෙක් තෘෂ්ණා සිබ්බනිය ඉක්ම ගියේදයි.
Oh, so this is a very, very interesting verse, and we'll see the answer given by the Buddha, and maybe Venerable Dhammajiva can recite the answer. First translation.
Yes. So one leading the spiritual life among sensual pleasures.
Without sense of it, right? One leading, can you repeat?
Yes, one leading the spiritual life among sensual pleasures.
Right.
One without craving, always mindful, a bhikkhu who is quenched, having comprehended, for him there is no agitation.
And better repeat the last one also.
Yes. One leading the spiritual life among sensual pleasures.
No. I mean repeat the second one, the last verse.
The one before that.
Last one, the next one.
Okay, yes. Having directly known both ends, by reflection, one does not get stuck in the middle. I call him a great man. he has here transcended the seamstress.
Yeah. So this is the answer given by the Buddha. Kamesu brahmacharyava vitatanho sada sato sankhaya nibbuto bhikkhu tassa no santi inchita. So there's a monk, there's a person who has seen the danger in the samsara. So what he does is basically he has abandoned the sensual pleasures and he's leading a celibate life. And vita tanho, so sada sato, so continuously he is being mindful, and while being mindful he is trying to abandon the craving. Sankhaya nibbuto bhikkhu. Now he has attained the nibbana, he has attained what we can say a kind of a quenched situation, all the kind of calm, relaxed situation. And tassa no santi injita, so he doesn't have any perturbation. So there is no any sort of agitation in him, because he was able to abandon what we call this tanha, and he is actually continuously behaving or continuously restraining himself to abandon craving, and he is basically quenched. And yeah, please can you mention the Sinhala translation of that?
මෙත්තේනි භාග්‍යවතුන් වහන්සේ වදාළසේක. කාමේහි ආදීනව දැක මගබමසර ඇති පහ වූ තෘෂ්ණා ඇති හැම කල්හි ස්මෘතිමත් වූ අනිත්‍යාදිය විසින් දහම් විමසා රාගාදිය නිවීමෙන් නිවුණු යම් මහණෙක් වේ නම් ඔහුට ඉංජිතයෝ නැත්තාහ.
Oh, so then the last verse is the kind of the real essence of this sutta. So ubhantam abhiññāya majjhe mantā nalippati tambrumi mahapurisoti soda sibbani maccaga. So he, the great person who has known the both ends, and majjhe mantā nalippati, and he does not attach to the middle either, and he is the great person who was able to transcend the sibbani, that is the seamstress. Can you repeat that?
හේ අන්තද්වය විශිෂ්ට ඥානයෙන් දැන මධ්‍යෙහි ප්‍රඥායෙන් නොඇලෙයි. ඔහු මහා පුරුෂයයි කියමි. හේ මේ ලෝහි තෘෂ්ණා සිබ්බනිය ඉක්ම ගියේයි.
Oh, so here actually now there's a very interesting question comes. So what is this both ends, and what is the middle, and who is the seamstress? So this is the question, actually a theme of another sutta available in the what we call in Chakkanipata, the Anguttara Nikaya, which is called Majjhe Sutta. Very, very interesting sutta called Majjhe Sutta. Can you use that also? Can you, Vijita, can you carry the numerical discourses of the Buddha? Numerical discourses? No, Pali, yeah, Pali one, Pali kat asmo nangano me Anguttara, no, Anguttara, the numerical discourses. Anguttara ke gan Chakkanipate, Anguttara Chakkanipate. ඔයාගන්න චුට්ටක් try කරනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ පොත් කීපයක් තියෙනවා. චක්කනිපාතේ තියෙන එක බලන්න වෙනවා. So basically the idea is, so here Buddha simply has given the answer without properly defining the exact ends. So what are the both ends? So he didn't explain what are the both ends. And further he didn't explain what is the middle. And he didn't explain what is the sibbani, what is the seamstress. So at a later occasion there's a discussion about this matter among the monks. That's an interesting point. So that happens after a long time. So while Buddha is living, so there are certain monks who are quite interested about this verse, the answer given by the Buddha to this Tissa Metteya, and now they want to find out the answer. So what is the answer? Basically, what are the two ends, and what is the middle, and who is the seamstress? Because it's a kind of a puzzle that the way the Buddha has answered is very much like a puzzle, and now they want to find out the solution. And that is what completely explained in this Majjhe Sutta. It's very entirely related to this the answer to Tissa. So before we go into another one, so we better discuss about this because this is quite relevant to our meditation. So now I like to go through Majjhi Sutta. So as you know, Majjhi Sutta is available in the Anguttara Nikaya. Chakkanipata means where the six causes or 6 factors are explained. So there the interesting thing is that you found it? Yes. Chakkanipata Mahavagga. Second 50. Second 50 Mahavagga. That's a great chapter. Yeah, this is one. Okay. Let me find it. The middle. The name of the sutta is called middle. Majjhe. Majjhe means the middle. So basically, sorry. Yeah, you it starts in the other page. Yeah.
Thus I have heard on one occasion the Blessed One was dwelling at Varanasi in the deer park at Isipatana. Now on that occasion, after their meal, on returning from their alms round, a number of elder bhikkhus assembled and were sitting together in the pavilion hall when this conversation arose. It was said, friends, by the Blessed One in the Parayana, in the questions of Metteyya. Having understood both ends, the wise one does not stick in the middle. I call him a great man. He has here transcended the seamstress. What, friends, is the first end? What is the second end? What is the middle? And what is the seamstress? When this was said, a certain bhikkhu said to the elder bhikkhus, contact, friends, is one end. The arising of contact is the second end. The cessation of contact is the middle. The craving is the seamstress. For craving sows one to the production of this or that state of existence. So craving sows one to the production of this or that state of existence. It is in this way that a bhikkhu directly knows what should be directly known, fully understands what should be fully understood, and by doing so, in this very life, he makes an end of suffering. When this was said, another bhikkhu said to the elder bhikkhus, the past, friends, is one end, the future is the second end, the present is the middle, and craving is the seamstress. For craving sows one to the production of this or that state of existence.
Okay, let's before getting into more details, let me explain what has happened. So in the at a later time, so there is a discussion among the monks. So Buddha already has given the answer to Tissa Metteyya, and that is this so bhante viditwana majje mantana lippati tambrumi mahapurusoti soda sibbani macchaga. So there is a great person who is not attached to the ends, not entangled with the ends, both ends, and he also does not grasp in the middle as a result of his wisdom, and he is the great person who was able to transcend the sibbani, that is the seamstress. Now the question is, among these monks is very much like, who are these, what are the two ends, what is the middle, and what is the seamstress? Now Buddha didn't explain that in the Parayana Vagga, so it is not explained there. So now there's a question later time, while Buddha himself is still alive, among the monks, now they want to find out what Buddha meant. What are the two ends, what is the middle, and who is the seamstress. Now, ආස්මත් ඕනනම් සිංහල එකක් කියවන්නකෝ. මම පාලි කියන්න දෙන්න. මජ්ජේ සුත්ත එවම් මේ සුතං ඒකං සමයං භගවා වාරාණසියං විහෙරති. ඉසිපතනේ මිගදාය. So at that time Buddha was living in the Varanasi, in the Isipatana. Tena kopana samayena sambhulanam teraanam bhikkhuunam paccha battang pindapata patikkantanam mandalamale sannisinnaanam sannipatitanam ayamantara katha udapadi. So now the monks have completed the morning pindapata, they had their meals, and now they have gathered in a kind of a circular platform, and they now come up with a kind of a discussion.
මා විසින් මෙසේ අසන ලදී. එක් කාලයක භාග්‍යවතුන් වහන්සේ බරණැස්හි ඉසිපතන නම් මිගදායෙහි වැඩවසනසේක. එසමයෙහි පසුබත්හි පිඬුවායෙන් පෙරලා පැමිණි මණ්ඩලමාලයෙහි රැස්වුන් බොහෝ තෙරමහණුන් අතර මේ අතුරු කතාව පහළ විය. ඇවැත්නි භාග්‍යවතුන් වහන්සේ විසින් පාරායන සමාගමයෙහි තිස්ස මෙත්තේය මානවකයාගේ ප්‍රශ්නයෙහිදී ඒ රහත් භික්ෂුතෙම උභයාන්තය ප්‍රඥායෙන් දැන මධ්‍යයෙහි නොතැවරේ නම් ඔහු මහා පුරුෂයයි කියමි. හේ මේ පස්කන්දෙහි සිබ්බ නිසංඛ්‍යාත තෘෂ්ණාව ඉක්ම ගියේ යයි මෙසේ වදාරන ලදී. ඇවැත්නි එක් අන්තය කවරේයයි, දෙවන අන්තය කවරේයයි, මධ්‍ය කවරේයයි, සිබ්බනි කවරේයයි.
Yeah. So now the question is asked from the monks. So this is answer given by the Buddha. So bante vidittana majje mantana lipati. So that is the verse, answering verse Buddha has given. So what are the two ends? What is the middle? And what is the sibbani, the seamstress? Now different monks come up with different solutions. So they have different answers. So that's the interesting thing. So it's very much like a meeting now going on, and different monks, they are actually elderly monks. So they are quite familiar with the Dhamma, and they have lived the holy life for a long time. Now they are coming up with various suggestions. So these are the two ends, this is the middle, this is the sibbani. So they are coming up with various kind of suggestions. Now first one he says, Evam utte anyataro bhikkhu There bhikkhu etada vocha. Passo ko auso eko anto passa samudayo dutiyo anto passa nirodho majji tanha sibbani. So basically his answer is he says, Passo ko auso eko anto, the contact is the one end, passa samudayo dutiyo anto, the second end is the arising of the passa, the samudaya side, the arising side, and the middle is the passa nirodha, the cessation of passa, cessation of contact. And what is the sibbani, what is the seamstress? That is the craving. Tanhahi nang sibbati tassa tasseva bhavassa abhinibbattiya ettavathako avso bhikkhu abhiññayyang abhijanati pariññayyang parijanati abhiññayyang abhijananto pariññayyang parijananto ditteva dhamme dukkassanta karo hoti iti. So they may further mention, so this is the great person who has seen the two ends and the middle, and so since he has properly seen it through his direct wisdom, and he was able to fully comprehend the whole thing, as a result of that, and he is able to completely overcome suffering in this very life. So we'll get the English translation. Can you recite the English? That the first one, first answer.
So in the Anguttara
Nikaya, yes. We are now shifted to Anguttara Nikaya.
So what, friends, is the first end? What is the second end? What is the middle? And what is the seamstress? When this was said, a certain bhikkhu said, so this is the one we just covered, contact and the arising of contact.
You already mentioned
so the
that,
next one.
You already recited that?
I may have, I'm not sure. Then the second...
No, not the second. First one is the one. Passa, the contact.
You want me to read that one?
Yeah.
Okay. When this was said, a certain bhikkhu said to the elder bhikkhus, contact, friends, is one end. The arising of contact is the second end. The cessation of contact is the middle. of craving is the seamstress. For craving sews one to the production of this or that state of existence. It is in this way that a bhikkhu directly knows what should be directly known, fully understands what should be fully understood, and by doing so, in this way, in this very life, he makes an end of suffering.
Right. The Sinhala translation.
මෙසේ කී කල්හි අන්‍යතර මහණෙක් තෙර මහණුන් හට තෙලකීය. ඇවැත්නි ස්පර්ශ වශයෙන් උපන් හේයින් වර්තමාන ආත්ම භාව සංඛ්‍යාත ස්පර්ශය එක් අන්තයක. අනාගත ආත්ම භාව සංඛ්‍යාත පස්ස සමුදය දෙවන අන්තය. නිර්වාණ සංඛ්‍යාත ස්පර්ශය නිරෝධය මධ්‍ය වෙයි. තෘෂ්ණාව සිබ්බණිය. තෘෂ්ණාවම ඒ ආත්ම භාවදවය සංඛ්‍යාත පස්සේ හා පස්ස සමුදය ඒ භවයාගේ අභිනිර්වෘත්තිය සඳහා හිවන්නේය. ඇවැත්නි මෙත්තෙකින් මහාන චතුත් සත්‍ය ධර්ම සංඛ්‍යාත අභිඤ්ඤය මනාකොට දන්නේය. ලෞකික සත්‍යද්වය සංඛ්‍යාත පරිඤ්ඤය පිරිසිදු දන්නේය. අභිඤ්ඤය අභිජානන කරනුයේ පරිඤ්ඤය පරිජානන කරනුයේ ඉහතාත්ම භාවයෙහිම වෘත්ත දුක්ඛය කෙලවර කරන්නේයයි.
So this is the answer given by one senior monk. So he simply said contact is the one end, the arising of the contact is the other end, the middle is the cessation of contact, and the seamstress is the craving. Now this is a very interesting question actually, the answer. Now in order to sort of explain this, now say for example you are simply watching a movie and it's now getting bored. What are you going to do? Modita, how about you? Assume that you are watching a movie in the TV and it's now getting bored, and what are you going to do? Change the channel. Exactly. So you're going to change the channel. Say you are now put into the sports channel and you are watching a cricket match. Suppose that now it's also getting bored. Oh, our side Sri Lankan team is now, not going well. So it is getting defeated. So what are you going to do next? Again change the channel. So we have many channels now available, and you are again change the channel. So the idea is now we are basically watching a movie. So that is a kind of contact is happening. Eye contact and the mind contact is happening. So eye contact is the eye and the form as a result of the eye consciousness. These three comes together, the eye contact happens. Again and again the mind get involved with that object. So the mind contact is also happening. So basically we were in that contact side. Contact is now going on. But the interesting thing is before it reaches the end, the complete cessation of the contact, what have we done? We have shifted the channel. In that channel now again a new contact starts arising. So we were in some kind of a contact. Now we shifted to a new contact. Now new contact is arising, and it is also getting bored sometimes later. So now you want to shift to another contact. So the point is we are being driven by craving. So as we are observing something, as we are sort of continuing some sort of some kind of experience, we never want to continuously experience that so that we are seeing the full picture. Rather, as we get bored, we immediately jump to a new experience. So because craving is the one drive us towards the other one, we are not being allowed to see the complete picture. So craving is the one, always. That's why seamstress is the kind of garment lady who is always stitching. It is stitching the two ends. So the middle is not known to us. Middle is hidden from us. That is the cessation of contact. That complete cycle we are not known, because we are continuously jumping from this contact to a new contact, this contact to a new contact, this contact to a new contact, and we never know the complete cycle, how the cessation of contact going to happen. So seamstress is knowing how to tangle these two ends without allowing us to know the middle. Now the question, the Buddha's answer is, now the wise person should know the two ends. So how this is operating within the mind and how we are experiencing all these sense impingements. As a result of that, now he, rather than jumping from one object to another object, he need to wait and see how a kind of an experience continuously go on and ultimately cease. Now, cessation of contact is now slowly one starts to know. Your experience, say for example, you are doing walking meditation. While walking, say certain kind of experience is available, and that experience kind of contact is there. Some hardness is felt. Maybe some kind of roughness is felt. Maybe pleasurable feeling is felt, or equanimous feeling is felt. Now this equanimous feeling or painful feeling, now one needs to look at from the beginning to the end. How this equanimous feeling starts, how it is changing, how it is ultimately vanishes. How another feeling arising, changing, and ultimately passing away. Because contact is the one causing the feeling. So probably we might not be able to recognize the contact, but we can recognize the feeling. Feeling is a product of the contact. Passa pacca vedana. So contact is the contact is the cause for generating the feeling. And when one is able to see how these feelings are passing away, so that means you are looking at even how cessation of contact is happening again and again. Each and every contact causes some kind of a feeling, and you are watching how contact is again and again passing away. As a result of that, how the product, that is the feeling, is also passing away. So if you are doing this kind of a meditation, now the seamstress, the craving, can't do its job. So we are basically quite vigilant, investigative, and looking at each and every contact. We are trying to recognize its full cycle, arising of the contact, changing of it, and passing away of it. Maybe arising of the feeling, changing of it, passing away of it. So we are fully sort of investigating this whole phenomena without jumping to a new contact. Now we are observing that, investigating that. The result is slowly the craving is abandoned, and we are now being able to, even without attaching to cessation of contact, you are able to simply withdraw from this whole process. Something like that. This is a very deep answer actually Buddha has given here. And so this Venerable who is suggesting this answer, actually that is the exact answer Buddha also has suggested. Later all these monks actually go to the Buddha because they want to verify whether which answer is correct. Because now there are 6 monks suggesting 6 answers. Now ultimately they are in a puzzle of which one is the correct one. So first answer is this, what we just discussed. So that is based on the contact. Now we'll go to the second answer. Second answer goes like this in Pali. Evañ utte aññataro bhikkhu Thero bhikkhu etada voca. Now once that answer was given, now another monk is now suggesting another answer. Atitanko auso eko anto anagatan dutiyo anto pachuppannam majje tanha sibbani. Now this is a very interesting and easy to understand answer. Now atita, the past is one end, future is the other end, and we are basically dwelling in either in the past or in the future. We don't reside in the present. We are not mindful about the present moment. Why? Because of the seamstress, because of the tanha. Because we have some kind of a craving with respect to what has happened in the past, which is very beautiful, maybe very delighting. So we are thinking about it, memorizing it, remembering it, and we are dealing with it. And now again something interesting going to happen in the future. Now I jump into the future. I am in the future now, again thinking about it. Again now I jump to the past, again jump to the future, again jump to the past. So we are continuously jumping from past to the future. Never stay in the present moment. Never be mindful. So this is the typical nature of the mind. So if we consider how we are living in the daily life, so most of the time this is the way we are going on. Either in the past, thinking about what has happened in the past, or regretting about some incident happened in the past, or forecasting and projecting and planning, wishing, hoping, and that is happening in the future. So all that is maybe interesting, maybe exciting. So the Sibbani, the craving knows how to entangle these two ends. For us, the middle is not known. So this is the second answer suggested by the other monk. So probably you can read the English translation, and Dhammalankara can read the Sinhala translation.
Yes, Bhante. The past, friends, is one end, the future is the second end, the present is the middle, and craving is the seamstress. For craving sows one to the production of this or that state of existence. It is in this way that a bhikkhu directly knows what should be directly known. In this very life he makes an end of suffering.
මෙසේ කී කල්හි අන්‍යතර මහණෙක් තෙරමහණුන් හට මේ කීය ඇවැත්නි අතීතාත්ම භාවය එක් අන්තයක අනාගතාත්ම භාවය දෙවන අන්තයයි ප්‍රත්‍යුප්පන්නාත්ම භාවය මධ්‍යයයි තෘෂ්ණාව සිබ්බනියයි තෘෂ්ණාවම ඒ භවයාගේ ඉපැත්ම සඳහා එය අතීතානාගත පච්චුපන්න කන්ද අතීතානාගත පච්චුපන්න කන්ද හිවන්නේය ඇවැත්නි මෙතකින් මහණ අභිඥේය අභිජානනය කෙරෙයි පරිඥේය පරිජානනය කෙරෙයි අභිඥේයය මනාකොට දන්නේ පරිඥේය පිරිසිඳ දන්නේ ඉහත්ම භාවයේහිම දුක් කෙලවර කරන්නේයයි.
Yeah, so here in the single translation it is a little bit wrongly translated as that is Atita Bhava, the previous life, and the future is the future life, and middle is the present life. But here it is quite spontaneous and basically during this life, so how mind typically operates, how mind typically dwells, basically is the answer that typically mind dwells in the past or the future because of the craving, and we are not known to the middle, not known to the present moment, and because the craving is taking care of always tangling us in the past and the future. So it is not relevant to the past life and the future life, rather past events and the future events going to happen in this very life. So therefore the answer has to be in the English translation may be correct. English translation doesn't say about the past life. Is it? What's the English translation? Past life. It simply say past. And the other thing is simply the future. Other than, it's not relevant to past life or future life. Rather, it is the past and the future. So it is the craving takes care of entangling us to the past and the future, not allowing us to rest in the present moment. So the practice, therefore, is to rest in the present moment. Basically, that is the mindfulness practice, satipatthana practice, where you are, say for example, you are practicing anapanasati. Say anapanasati happens in the present moment. So it doesn't happen in the future, it doesn't happen in the past. Rather, you simply recognize the present moment inhalation. What is happening in the present moment? Maybe it's a inhalation. So you are aware of that. And there may be an exhalation happen and you are aware of that. So it is happening right now. So more and more now you are very much like trained to reside in the present moment. Not in the past, not in the future, rather in the present moment. Now you are able to slowly train the mind to reside in the present moment. Say you are practicing walking meditation. So the walking happens right now. Assume that right now left foot is touching the ground. You are able to keep your attention there. Right now right foot is touching. You are able to keep your attention there. So likewise, so you are able to keep your attention again and again in the present moment. Not dealing in the past, not dealing in the future. Rather in the present moment. So this is a training that we are continuing, so that rather than allowing the mind to dwell in the past and the future, now it is very much associated in the present. But here the interesting thing is still we are, to some extent, we are grasping the present. Grasping the present. Now later, so this practice leads us to even to abandon the present. That's the beauty. Now say in Satipatthana, say ya samudaya dhammanupassi, vaya dhammanupassi, samudaya vaya dhammanupassi. So as you are continuing the Satipatthana meditation as a vipassana technique, as a kind of insightful practice. So ultimately that helps us to even abandon, relinquish even the present experience. And you are very much like somewhat separated from the present experience, and you are not even touching that because the wisdom is available. Wisdom has shown you the reality of the present experience, and you are not interested of very much like grasping it. Rather, you are dispassionate about it. And now mind becomes somewhat detached from the present experience, and now mind does not attach to anything. Does not attach to anything in the world. So that is the result of the Satipatthana. Anisitocha viharati nachakinchi loke upadiyati. So you are not attached to anything in the world. You are not associating anything in the world. So basically mind has become detached. It happens because you have wisdom now. Insight is there. So that's why Buddha's answer, Yo bhante yuditva. Now we can apply this answer to the verse given by the Buddha. So now you know the both ends. Past and the future are the two ends. Middle is the present. But Yo bhante yuditvana majje manta na lippati. Once you know the middle, from wisdom you are not even attaching to the middle. That's the answer given by the Buddha. So you have now wisdom, you are able to abandon even the middle. And now basically you are not basically allowing seamstress to do the binding, seamstress to do the stitching. Rather you are in the very much not even in the middle, you are very much like freed from the experience, unattached, dispassionate, basically freed. Got it?
Yes, Bhante, but where does the Buddha talk about, is there a sutta that talks about letting go of the middle? I mean, what's the process of that? Is it just letting go of the present?
Yeah, there are many suttas. Many suttas are there. Buddha is even asking to let go the middle. So let me... so there are... Even yesterday we discussed that... what's that? Baddekaratta Sutta. Baddekaratta Sutta. There are 4 suttas called Baddekaratta in the Majjhima Nikaya. So there Buddha mentioned Atitan nanvagamiya nappatikanke anagatam. Yadatitam pahinantam appattancha anagatam. So Atitan nanvagamiya. No, don't get carried away by the past memories. Nappatikanke anagatam. Don't have doubts and all the perplexities about the future, because the past already gone. Future not yet come. Attitan nanvagamiya nappatikanke anagatam yadatitam pahinantam appattancha anagatam. Paccupannancha yo dhammang tatta vipassati. So the present moment experience, then and there you need to insightfully practice. You do the vipassana. You got to do the vipassana for this present moment experience. So what is the result? Ultimately, even the present moment experience, once you know the true nature of that, your mind getting slowly detached from that either.
So then it's through dispassion with phenomena, with sensual, with our sensual attachment to anything, any of our senses. Mm-hmm. So even if it's in the present moment, we may be attached to it or craving for it, even if it's in the present moment.
Yeah. I mean, we can even attach to the present moment experience because of craving. But now the person with wisdom, he does not even attach to the present moment. So that's the idea. So he doesn't even attach to the present. Not only the past and the future, even to the present moment experience, he is not attached. So you know that in the Vipassana practice, the ultimate idea is to understand the true nature, no? Yathabhuta jnana dassana. So the result of Yathabhuta jnana dassana is nothing but dispassion and the detachment. Dispassion and the disenchantment. Nibbida and viraga. And once it is there, so you are no more sort of elated with the present experience, so you are not grasping the present moment experience. Rather you are able to abandon that, letting go of that. So where are you now going to stay or keep your attention? Nowhere, basically. No object. Because already you understood no point of grasping the past. You already understood no point of grasping the future. Now you are working with the present. Now even the present experience you found it is not useful. That is also sort of impermanent, unsatisfactory, non-self. So now as a result of that, so your mind get uplifted or freed, and now you are trying to maintain that freed mind. So that is basically the Vipassana practice. So this answer is, quite relevant to, it's easy to understand, and again, it's quite relevant to the meditation. And even the previous one also directly to the meditation. So as we are practicing another kind of, say, Satipatthana practice even, so each, for example, the Vedananupassana. So you are recognizing, say, pleasurable feelings, you are recognizing painful feelings, you are recognizing equanimous feelings. As a result of that, probably you can recognize the causing contact. So what is the contact cause the present feeling? What is the contact cause the painful feeling? What is the contact cause the painful feeling, or rather the equanimous feeling? So you can even recognize the contact as well. Now you are experiencing this whole chapter, this whole episode, without jumping to a new contact. So likewise, that is also very much answered. So that is also there in the, it's by the way deep. The first answer is somewhat deep, but the second answer, which is related to, say, past and the future, is very much somewhat easy to answer. Yeah, now we can go to the third answer. Yeah, let me recite the. You better Dhammajiva, so can you?
Yes, Swami, it's a pleasant feeling, friends, is one end. Painful feeling is the second end. Neither pleasant nor painful feeling is the middle, and craving is the seamstress.
Now that answer is also easy to understand. So simply it is mentioned. Okay, you recognize. Okay, let me first recite the. Evaං utte aññataro bhikkhu tere bhikkhu etada voca. Sukhako avso vedana eko anto dukkha vedana dutiyo anto. Adukkama sukha vedana majji. Tanha sibbani. Now that monk says, okay, the present feelings, pleasurable feelings are the one end, painful feelings are the other end, middle is the equanimous feelings, the sibbani, the seamstress, is the craving. So typically we are not aware of equanimous feelings. We are ignorant about the equanimous feeling. They appear like boring and we are not interested about it. We are not knowing to that. We always jump either to the pleasure or either to the pain. So we are continuously jumping from pain to pleasure, pain to pleasure, pain to pleasure. Not much aware of the equanimous experience. Equanimous experience appear like quite boring, and so we are not interested about it. So basically we are ignorant about it. So that craving basically entangle or bind us always to the pain and the pleasure. So that's the answer given as a third monk. Yeah, we'll go to the singer. Yeah.
මෙසේ කී කල්හි අන්‍යතර මහණෙක් තෙර මහණුන්ට තෙල කරුණ කීය. ඇවැත්නි සුඛ වේදනා එක් අන්තයයි. දුක්ඛ වේදනාව දෙවන අන්තයයි. අදුක්ඛම සුඛ වේදනාව මධ්‍යයයි. තෘෂ්ණාව සිබ්බනි. තෘෂ්ණාවම ඒ භවයාගේ අභිනිවෘත්තිය සඳහා එය හිවන්නේය. ඇවැත්නි මෙතකින් මහණ අභිඥාත වෙයි. ඉහාත්මයෙහිම දුක් කෙලවර කරන්නේ වෙයි. යයි.
So now we covered already 3 answers. So there are 3 more. Let's go to the fourth one. Evaං utte aññataro bhikkhu tere bhikkhu etada voca. Nāmaං ko avso eko anto rūpaං dutiyo anto. Viññānaṁ majji. Tanha sibbani. Now another answer is given. Nama, the name, or we can say there are 5 factors in the name. Vedana, Sanya, Chetana, Passa, Manasikara, the feelings, perceptions, volition, contact, attention. So these are the name and form. Usually name and form and consciousness are very much interrelated, and name are the very intrinsic chetasikas available in the name, available in the mental side. So one has telling, okay, that name is one side, but the rupa is the other side. So there is a rupa, there's a sign taken from the forms, that is the rupa sanya, so that is the other side. Middle is the consciousness, viññāna. That's a deep answer, by the way, and that is another answer given by another, say, Thera bhikkhu. You already mentioned that, right?
It's yes. Name friends is one end, form is the second end, consciousness is the middle, and craving is the seamstress.
මෙසේ කී කල්හි අන්‍යතර මහණෙක් තෙර මහණුන්ට තෙල කරුණ කීය. ඇවැත්නි නාමයේ එක් අන්තයයි. රූපය දෙවන අන්තය වෙයි. ප්‍රතිසන්දි විඥාණය මධ්‍යයයි. තෘෂ්ණාව සිබ්බණි. තෘෂ්ණාව එය මසයි. ඉහාත්ම භාවයෙහිම දුක් අන්ත කරන්නේ වේයයි.
So then here in the single translation it's given as Pratisandhi Vijnana, but in the sutta there is nothing called Pratisandhi Vijnana, but it's the mere Vijnana, mere consciousness. Even in the English translation it is simply saying the consciousness, not the relinking consciousness. It is not mentioned like that. It is a mere consciousness. So this is the mere consciousness it is referred. So we are very much like jumping from mental experience to the physical experience, we can say. So we are sometimes in the mental world and sometimes we are jumped to the physical world. And always in these two worlds, but never aware of how these two come together and prepare a knowledge, prepare kind of consciousness, the cognition, not known to us. Now say for example, I don't know whether this is exactly correct. Simply say your eyes, now that is the next answer actually. We have to go to the next answer. Yeah. We'll go to the next answer, that is easy actually. This is little difficult. Evam utte anyataro bhikkhu, There bhikkhu etadavota. Chakho auso ajjattikani ayatanani eko anto, bahirana ayatanani dutiyo anto, viññānam majje, tanha sibbani. Now this is the fifth answer given by the monks. So can you...
The 6 internal bases, friends, are one end. The 6 external bases are the second end. Consciousness is the middle. And craving is the seamstress.
මෙසේ කී කල්හි අන්‍යතර මහණෙක් තෙර මහණුන්ට තෙලක් කීය. ඇවෙත්නි ෂට් ආධ්‍යාත්මික ආයතන එකාන්තය. ෂට් බාහ්‍යායතන දෙවනාන්තයයි. කර්ම විඥාණය මධ්‍යයි. තෘෂ්ණාව සිබ්බණි. තෘෂ්ණාවම ඒ භවයගේ ඉපැත්ම පිණිස එය හිවයි. ඇවැත්නි මෙතකින් මහණ අභිඥේය අභිඥාත වෙයි. ඉහාත්මෙහි දුක් අන්ත කරන්නේ වේයයි.
Oh, now this is an interesting answer and easy to understand also. Now say for example, we are watching a movie as we just explained. So your eyes is what we feel as I am watching. And the film is something that the form that is going through as the object. But because of the interesting episodes going on in the movie, we are immediately attached to that. Either we are grabbed or grasped into the movie, or else we feel, okay, I am the one watching the movie. I am the one who has seen it. You haven't seen the movie. I am the one seeing the movie. So I am making another end. So basically, either I am attached to the experiencer level, or I am attached to the object level. But this whole knowledge happens because of the eye consciousness. Chakkuncha paticca rupecha uppajjati chakku viññāna. When eye and the form is there, as a result of the combination of these two, the eye consciousness happens. The function of eye consciousness is entirely not known, entirely hidden to us, because the seamstress, the craving, basically entangles these two ends. Either we are living in this end, I am the one who is seeing it, I see it, I can see it, I am the best person who has seen it, I am the first person who has seen it, so I am in the experiencer side. Or else completely I am fascinated by the form, the film, so I am there. I either in the there or I am either here. I am there or I am here. So always jumping from the object or to the experiencer. I am making a self out of these two, and that is how we typically operate, not knowing the function of the consciousness. Now say for example, we'll take another example. Say we are listening to a music. It's a beautiful song. Now I am the one, I want to listen to it properly. I better go closer to that. I better increase the volume because now I am here. So I has operated now. I has come to the picture. So you are in this end. Or the Song is beautiful. So this is my song. I am the one who sang this song. Or my friend is the one who sang this song. He is the one who sang this song. It has happened several years ago. So now you are in the dealing with the other end, the song end, the sound end. Not knowing the knowledge part, not knowing the consciousness part, and that is being hidden to us. Say we are tasting something. Say we are eating something. So tongue is there and taste is there. If it is tasty, then I want to have more. The taste is something I am delightful, so I want to have it more. So I am in that end. Or else I am in this end. I say, okay, I want more. I am the one tasting it. You haven't tasted it. So I want it tomorrow also. So I am in this end. But the knowledge happens, knowing happens, cognition happens as a result of these two coming together and generating its results. That is the tongue consciousness. The function of tongue consciousness is not known to us because the craving always entangles these two ends. Got the point? So likewise, all the six senses are operating like this. Now say for example, to your mind there is an interesting thought come. That's often happen, no? There is an interesting thought come to your mind and you immediately say, I want to think about it. Let me think about it. So you are making a self. You are a thinker now. You immediately jump to a thinker and you are a person here. So basically you immediately come up attached to this end. Or you attach to that end, thoughts are there. So those thoughts are interesting thoughts. Let me think about something else. Let me think about the future. Let me think about the past. Let me forecast it. So I am basically starting proliferation. I am in that end. So basically these two ends are continuously entangled. Either I am here, I feel as a thinker, or else I am very much like subjected to the proliferation. So I am there. I am trapped in the proliferation. I am there. Not knowing the function of the manovinyana, the mind consciousness. The function of mind consciousness is this separation. It is the one distinctly knowing this. I am here, this is there. That is the function of mind consciousness. That is not known because these two are very interesting. Craving basically entangle these two. I missed the point basically because of the craving. So the middle is missed to us. So what are we going to do in the practice? Vipassana, for example. Say in the Vipassana practice, what we are going to do is not allowing craving to do this entanglement. And I am not preparing a person either in this end or to the other end. If you can remember the teaching to Bahir, ditte dittamattam bhavisati, sute sutamattam bhavisati, mute mutamattam bhavisati, viññāte viññātamattam bhavisati. So Buddha says to Bahir, okay, when you see it, just keep it to that level. Don't proliferate. Don't prepare a self either here or there or in the middle. If you hear something, don't prepare a self either here or there or in the middle. You just have seen, you just have heard, that's all. Don't proliferate. Don't get mixed up with this experience. You just be a completely detached person, a mere observation going on. Mere experience is going on. Other than that, there is no person you are preparing here or there. So if we are able to come to that, so then basically the function of craving is fairly abandoned, fairly inhibited. So as a result of that, now you are not even attached to the middle. Middle is the knowing part. That is the eye consciousness, ear consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, mind consciousness. So that is the middle. Even to that you are not attached. It's a very, very interesting area. So in the meditation, this is also something we can come across.
Sounds very easy, Bhante. You make it sound.
Yeah. So we have a few minutes. So we'll go. Ask Mike Q&A. So we'll go to the last answer given by the other monk. So he says, "Evam utte anyatara bhikkhu Thero bhikkhu ethada voca. Sakkhayo ko auso eko anto sakkhaya samuddayo dutiyo anto." That's another little deep answer. Sakkhaya nirodho majje. Tanha sibbani. So please can you translate?
Yes, personal existence, friends, is one end. The origin of personal existence is the second end. The cessation of personal existence is the middle. And craving is a seamstress.
මෙසේ කී කල්හි අන්‍යතර මහණෙක් තෙර මහණුන්ට තෙලකීය. ඇවැත්නි తත්‍ර භූමික වර්ත සංඛ්‍යාත සත්කාය එක අන්තය සමුදය සත්‍ය සංඛ්‍යාත සත්කාය සමුදය දෙවන අන්තයයි නිරෝධ සත්‍ය සංඛ්‍යාත සත්කාය නිරෝධය මධ්‍යයි තෘෂ්ණාව සිබ්බනි තෘෂ්ණාවම ඒ භවයාගේ ඉපැත්ම පිණිස එය හිවන්නේය. ඇවැත්නි මෙතකින් මහන අභිඥේය අභිඥාත වෙයි. පරිඥේය පරිඥාත වෙයි. අභිඥේය අභිඥාන කෙරෙමින් පරිඥේය පරිඥාන කෙරෙමින් ඉහාත්ම භාවයේහිම දුක් අන්ත කරන්නේ වේයයි.
Yeah, so here Sakkaya actually, basically in the Dhamma, it refers as the five clinging aggregates, Sakkaya. And Sakkaya Samudaya is how these clinging aggregates are again and again generated. But typically what happens is, we are not seeing, as we just discussed in the very first example, contact, the Samudaya of the contact, the middle is the cessation of contact. Here also, the Sakkaya is one end, Sakkaya Samudaya is the other end, Sakkaya Nirodha is the middle end, so the middle. So we are not known to the middle. We simply continuously grasping some kind of an aggregate. We are jumping from one aggregate to another aggregate. One aggregate to another aggregate without seeing how a particular grasping aggregate ceases, completely ends. We don't stop. We don't wait till that aggregate completely ceases. What we do is, in between we jump to a new one. In between we jump to a new one without having enough understanding about the middle. Because the craving basically do this stitching part. Jumping from this end to the other end, that craving takes care of that. So we miss the point. We miss the middle. So these are the answers given by different monks. And we can simply go to the next part. So that basically summarize. So ultimately what happened is, they went to see the Buddha, and they repeat their discussion entirely to the Buddha, and he asked, now they want to know what exactly Buddha meant when he was giving this answer to Tissametteya. So that is where we came from. In the Parayana Vaggas, the Tissametteya is the Brahmin youth who came and meet the Buddha, and he is asking the question, and to him this answer is given without explaining exactly what is the ends, what is the middle, what is the seamstress. And now they have 6 solutions. So they want to know exactly what Buddha has meant. Understood? Now 6 answers are there, but now they don't know what exactly Buddha meant. Now they approach the Buddha. So, and they are asking from the Buddha. And there, Buddha says, Sabbe sangho bhikkave subhasitam pariyayena. Buddha says, monks, all these explanations, all these answers given by you are pretty good. They are all correct. So, by the way, Buddha meant the first answer. Buddha meant passoko bhikkave eko anto, passa samudayo dutiyo anto, passa nirodho majje, tanha sibbani. Tanhainan sibbati tassa tassa bhavassa abhinibbattiya. Ettavata ko bhikkave bhikkhu abhiññayyam abhijanati pariññayyam parijanati abhiññayyam abhijananto pariññayyam parijananto ditteva dhamme dukkassanta karo hoti iti. So the very first answer given by certain elder monk, that is exactly what Buddha meant, but all the other answers are also valid answers. So that's what Buddha mentioned as a summary. Probably Asma, you can mention.
Yes, Bhante. Contact bhikkhus is one end, the arising of contact, the second end, the cessation of contact, the middle, and craving is the seamstress. For craving sows one to the production of this or that state of existence. It is in this way that a bhikkhu directly knows what should be directly known, fully understands what should be fully understood, and by doing so in this very life makes an end to suffering.
මහණෙනි පර්යායෙන් කරුණින් තොප හැමගේ කතා සුභාෂිතය වැලිදු මා විසින් පාරායනෙහි මෙත්තේය පඤ්ඤයෙහි යමක් සඳහා ඒ රහත් මහණ ප්‍රඥාවෙන් උපයාන්තය දැන මද්දෙහි නොතැවරේ නම් ඔහු මහා පුරුෂයයිද හේ මෙලව සිබ්බනී සංඛ්‍යාත තෘෂ්ණාව ඉක්ම ගියේයි කියමි. වදරණ ලද නම් එය මනාකොට අසව මෙනෙහි කරව කියන්නෙමි. වහන්ස එසේයයි ඒ මහණහු භාග්‍යවතුන් වහන්සේට පිළිවදන් ඇසූහ. භාග්‍යවතුන් වහන්සේ තෙල කරුණ වදාළහ. මහණෙනි වර්තමාන ආත්ම භාව සංඛ්‍යාත පස්සේ එක් අන්තයක අනාගතාත්ම භාව සංඛ්‍යාත පස්ස සමුදය දෙවන අන්තය වෙයි. පස්ස නිරෝධය මධ්‍ය වෙයි. තෘෂ්ණාව සිබ්බනියයි. තෘෂ්ණාවම ඒ ආත්ම භාවයාගේ අබිනිරූතිය සඳහා ඒ හිවන්නේය. මහණෙනි මෙපමණකින් මහණ අභිඤ්ඤය අභිජානනය කෙරෙයි. පරිඤ්ඤය පරිජානනය කෙරෙයි. අභිඤ්ඤය විශිෂ්ට ඥාණයෙන් දන්මින් පරිඤ්ඤය පිරිසිඳ දන්මින් ඉහාත්මෙහි දුක්ඛය අවසන් කරන්නේ වේයයි.
So that basically ends the Sissa Metteya Sutta. So basically the answer given to him is extremely profound answer, but proper explanation is not detailed at that moment. So now we understood what exactly Buddha meant there. So what are the two ends, what is the middle, and what are the other possible answers, some other possible valid answers. So that basically we can conclude the session as well as the second sutta. So anyway, these suttas are very, very deep, and the whole practice is somewhat concised and included even in a single verse. So that's the speciality in the Sutta Nipata. So the Sutta Nipata is entirely the early teachings of the Buddha, and they are not like someone else's or some other monk's recitations. Rather, the Buddha himself has recited most of them, and those are the early teachings of the Buddha. Now you know that first 20 years how Buddha operated. So that is very much these teachings, the Sutta Nipata. They are very concise, and mostly they are sometimes in the verse form and aimed at very highly intellectual people. Sometimes very difficult to understand the meanings. So people who approach the Buddha during his early stages are really, with a lot of perfections, and they quickly approach the Buddha, and Buddha also, they also ask the question to the point, and Buddha also answers them to the point. Now you can see the question asked by Sissa Metteya. It's a very, really deep question asked by himself. So he has a thorough investigation already done. Now he wants to find the exact solution, exact answer from the Buddha, and Buddha also answers to the exact point. That's it. So very, very interesting. So the same theme is there throughout this Sutta Nipata, particularly into this Parayana Magga. Okay, with that, if there is no any other question, anything, any question coming from outside? I hope that some people...
Namaskar Bhante.
Yeah.
There is one question just now came in.
Right.
Yeah. Most respected Bhante, as discussed in today's session regarding the contact, as also heard before regarding the contact within bracket thinness, Sangati Passo, occurs following sensible object and sense faculty strives or get together in no time or brink of an eye. In the same moment, within bracket jnana, which generates the relevant faculty consciousness and becomes all three together, namely the contact, within bracket sensible object, sense faculty and faculty consciousness, to generate the feeling and so on. The attentive to the present moment of such contact happens within bracket jnana sampatti, seems to be sati or mindfulness, which able to wait and see or know it directly the cessation of generated particular consciousness. And this understanding of contemplating dissolution after reflecting on an object is knowledge of insight, within bracket Bhanga Jnana, put forward as an idea. Much merit.
Yeah. We can
that's all.
Correct. So thanks for the comments. Very much like the same thing. So we have to be vigilant on each and every sense object, or rather the senses, the six senses. So we are very much like guarding these senses. So when any kind of senses are getting in contact with whatever the corresponding object, so the corresponding consciousness going to happen. say I and the form, now the I consciousness happen. Again I and the form, I consciousness happen. I and the form, I consciousness happen. Now this is happening continuously. So we forget about that the function of the consciousness, which is being entirely dependent on the form and the I. So we can't remember that. We simply forget it. Rather, since it is happening again and again in a very rapid succession, actually what happens is we get the perception, okay, there is a contact going on. There is something going on. Now I see something. Now as a result of that, now the feelings are happening. The recognition, the sanya is also happening. And onto that, I want to think. Thoughts are also happening. So that is exactly what explained in the Madhupindika Sutta. Chakkuncha paticca rupecha uppajjati chakku viññāna. As a result of I and the form, now the I consciousness arise. And tinnan sangati passo. When this is happening again and again, as a result of our ignorance, we can't understand that the I consciousness is a dependent factor. Instead, we take it also as another factor. And now three factors are there. They are all working together. So we get the perception now, okay, there's a contact happens. So the contact causes feeling. Passa pacca vedana. Then yang vediti tan sanjanati. So what one feels, that is what one recognizes. And that promotes thinking. Now I want to think about it. I want to have volition about it. I want to think about it. Now the vitakka is going to happen. Yang sanjanati tang vitakketi. It can lead even to the level of proliferation. Yang vitakketi tam papancheti. Now you are very much like multiplying our thinking. Many directional thinking is now going to start. You are intensifying your thinking, overthinking. Everything is happening. You basically lost the mindfulness. You are into the proliferation. So, but if one is able to maintain mindfulness, careful attention, how these things are happening, so you are not allowing the mind to do the proliferation. Instead, you see how these things are basically working out. How I is in operation, how the forms are in operation, how the I consciousness is coming to being, and sometimes we being trapped in it. So instead of getting trapped, now you are able to slowly abandon the function of I consciousness, because you are not allowing mind to rest on anything. Ultimately, the mind gets freed, as we just discussed. So basically, I can agree with you by seeing the impermanent nature of this whole experience, either on the I side, either on the form side, either on the I consciousness side, either on the feeling side, either on the either on the perception side, whatever the way. I mean, all in this whole formula, if you are able to recognize certain, say, artifacts, how they are arising and passing away, how they are arising and passing away, this whole sort of tanglement start dissolving. It becomes disentangled, and the mind basically starts giving up things rather than getting attached to things. Okay, then we'll wind up the session. We have spent some time.
Asray Bante?
Yes.
One Geshan has raised his hand. I think just wanted to talk.
Okay.
Yeah. Geshan, you can talk now.
Good. Thank you so much giving the opportunity for me as well. And Thururan Saranai Bante, I'm so glad that I'd be able to join this discussion today. The reason why I say I have learned this sutta before, and during that time, what I have heard at the summary, what Buddha says, since all 6 answers are accurate, rather than with what you just stated today correctly, it's only the passa or the contact is much the better solution rather. So I think there is a distinguish there, so my vision until today was, or understanding until today was, all 6 answers are equally accurate. And that is what Buddha said. But apparently that's not the case, what I heard today.
No, actually, Geshan, so basically Buddha admit that all answers are correct, but he particularly meant the first answer at that moment.
Yes.
But according to the context, how these monks are sort of answering, so that's all are correct, all are valid answers. But the Buddha actually meant the very first answer. That is based on the contact.
Yes, that's the part that was missing in the previous what I learned, and I think so that is pretty good for me to sort of get that context. The second point that I thought I should sort of address, in the second point for the Sinhala translation, I guess it talk about the past, future, and the present. But it talks about with the past bhava. The way that I have understood with the translation itself, because we, as a child, I used to sort of hear like the past moment is just the bhava itself. Maybe that do you think that would have been the sort of understanding back in the days during the translation itself? I was thinking because it maybe the translators had not necessarily the past life as the bhava, but the past moment as the bhava.
Exactly. So that's what I already mentioned this point. So the singular translation is somewhat erroneous by adding past life to it. So it takes us to entirely a different view about the answer given by this particular monk. Rather, this monk's answer is fairly spontaneous one. So it is relevant to this life, it is relevant to this current experience. So therefore in the English translation, it is Bhikkhu Bodhi has properly done. He simply says, so past is the one end, future is the another end, middle is the present. There is no talk about, no mention about the life.
Right.
Rather, it is the past and the future, because we all know that our minds are typically operating in between past and the future, never being mindful about the present moment. So this being mindful about the present moment is missed because the craving is there. Craving is continuously stitching us between past and the future. So the Bhikkhu Bodhi's translation we can actually accept, and fairly we can say it is correct from the meditation point of view also.
Yes, I agree, and thank you so much. I'm so glad to be able to join this conversation as well. Thero Saranai.
Yeah, Thero Saranai. Okay, then I ask whenever...
Yeah, the small clarification, like now there are 6 months come with the 6 opinions.
Yes.
Basically, that is due to their own practices during the all this time, like?
Maybe. We can't say exactly, I mean, what exactly, how these particular answers are being, what's the theme or what is the indication, why they are giving that kind of a answer. Maybe there may be a kind of relevance to their own experience, their own practice. Say, for example, if one is practicing ayatana bhavana, so then he probably has given the answer like ajjatika ayatana, the internal sense faculties are the one end, the external objects are the other end, the function of the consciousness is the middle. So he can probably give the first answer, this kind of answer. Another one may be practicing with respect to contact, and he might have given the first answer. So maybe another one practicing more into recognizing how this identification happens, how eye making happens, how mind making happens. He probably have given the answer of the last one. Sakkaya is one end, the Sakkaya Samudaya is the other end, the middle is the Sakkaya Nirodha. So that may be another profound answer, maybe given as a result of his own practice. It's a bit difficult to have a kind of a conclusion, but we can similarly, somewhat safely assume like that.
Yes, Bhante. Yeah, understood, Bhante.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thero Saranai.
Yeah, Thero Saranai.
Thank you, Bhante, for teaching today, and I'm sure we all will experience these merits and give them to all beings for this teaching. And we'll recite the traditional verses. Ettavata cham hehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva namodantu sabba sampatti siddhiyam. Ettavata cham hehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta namodantu sabba sampatti siddhiyam. Ettavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sambatang sabbe satta namodantu sabba sampatti siddhiyam akasakta cha bhummakta devanaga mahidika punyang tang anamoditva chirang rakantu sasanam akasakta cha bhummakta devanaga mahidika punyang tang anamoditva chirang rakantu desanam akasakta cha bhummakta devanaga mahidika punyang tang anamoditva chirang rakantu mang parang idang vo nyate nang hotu sukita hontu nyateo idang vo nyate nang hotu sukita hontu nyateo idang vo nyate nang hotu sukita hontu nyateo imina punya kamena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana patya imina punya kamena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana patya imina punya kamena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana patya.